and we'll get this rocking. So I guess we're going to be live here in like 2 seconds, which means as I get sharing the link, everyone's really welcome to just go and run with it for a little bit.
Cool.
Say how you're doing, we'll talk about your week while I spread the word. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is the pre-show for the show. The show starts at 7. This is the pre-show. It's not really the show. The show comes later, but you can come and hang out before the show. Why not? Because that's what we're doing anyways. We might as well broadcast it. And at 7 o'clock, we hit record and we make what has been until very soon a radio show. You want to talk about that, Imogen? Welcome back. Good to see you. You're the human of the week around here.
The human of the week, you say?
Yeah.
Strange title to have, but I'll take it. Yeah.
Tell them why you're the human of the week around here.
I don't know. I get nominated for all sorts of crazy things that rarely make sense. Being called human is on the bottom of the list of things I do. So we are going to be taking over a little section of Shaw Cable. We're going to be on Shaw Spotlight, which is super fantastic. So we're going to be having a TV component. So we're going to be cleaning up and streamlining the show, formatting a little bit more for television broadcast. So we're going to be making a few minor changes, but ultimately what the radio listeners hear is going to be the same thing. Maybe slightly cleaner language because Shaw's got different standards.
Yeah,
I think.
That's slightly. I mean, we should be adhering to that kind of standard anyways. But
yes, sir.
So just for professional sake.
Yeah, tomorrow morning I'm going to go in and I'm going to go over the last little bit of paperwork that we're going to be doing or whatever it is. Pretty much just a little bit of copyright clearance and just figuring that one out. I took a look at it online, got a little lost. So I'm going to go in and we'll go over a few details. Oh, and I'm just going to take a second to show off that I'm wearing a KFC tracksuit.
Hey, woo! I love it.
I haven't even looked because I'm so busy writing on Facebook.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to get everyone to come on the show and know that we're back.
Yeah. So, and part of the fun of that, part of what I find a little bit, I think there's a little tongue-in-cheek kind of irony with that is that, and once we're actually recording, I'll mention this again, but since no one's seeing this right now, I'll show you guys. Hey, that's me in a bikini on the cover of a French fashion magazine. So, I'll do that, but then I'll represent KFC. Eat your chicken, folks.
It's not a Quebecois magazine.
It's actual real French.
It's not from French New Guinea.
No, this is this bad boy is based out of Paris. So epicenter of the fashion world, Paris. The one I did at the start of last month was based in New York. So in 1 month, I just went crush, kill, destroy, and landed on the cover of 2 magazines. This one actually carries a fairly lengthy interview. The website has a full page interview. This print version has 2 pages, but the full length one is on their website. So yeah, that's what I did.
I think that's pretty stellar. Pretty stellar.
It's something. Another interview is going to be happening this weekend for another magazine as well. And I've got 2 more. I've got a shot at 2 more covers coming down the pipeline again. So
yeah. Look at us all growing. This is great.
There we go.
It reminds me too of my old band, the Outlaw Band, the original one.
Yeah.
Where everybody in the band eventually became like a star on their own in a great way. Like our accordion player, Rowan Lipkovitz, became Vancouver's accordion guy, right? He did the accordion festival and radio accordion noir at CFUR, or which station that used to be on? Co-op radio.
Okay.
And then we had Mike Zinger, who was like at one time the president of BC Bluegrass Society, and he played in everyone loves Zinger. And he was a star legend of his own. Then Jeff Andrew was with us, who became known for his fiddle playing and his songwriting, and he's very well known across Canada. Kenan, our drummer, his next band that was formed in the basement that I lived in, because Kenan lived upstairs, that became High Society, which is a very popular band in BC over the years. Everybody in the band became, Justine went on to play for Fred Eaglesmith. She played on Letterman 6 months after leaving my band, you know, and I couldn't pay her that much, right? So I lost her. But that was one of the great things about the Outlaw Band was that we really moved as a unit everywhere we went and acted like a team, and everybody benefited from being a part of the band. Like there was no one, like it was the Joey only show, sure. But one of our tactics and it started at the Rosencrown in Banff because we took our set break and everybody went across the street to Wild Bill's. And then when the band at Wild Bill's took a set break, everyone across the street at Wild Bill's came over. So we had a pretty consistent crowd all night. But I said that because we were playing there for several nights in a row during the middle of the week, I said, you know, this is stupid. Let's just not take a set break, play all friggin' night, and we'll end up getting the crowd from both bars because people won't leave because we didn't take that set break. So that's what we did for net. That was the rule of the Outlaw Band after that. We'd play for 3-4 hours. We wouldn't stop. And how we could do that was that if I had to go take a leak or get more beer, Rowan would play a song and the band knew Rowan's songs. And Kennan could grab a banjo and get off the drum kit and play a song and lead a song. Jeff Andrew could lead a song. Mike Zinger could lead a song. So everybody in the band, so the band didn't require me to stand in front of the stage and be there. I could go take 5 songs off and go walk around the crowd and snooze with people and be like, oh yeah, I gotta go back up and play some songs now. And then the same thing happened within the band. People in the band could leave and go take a 10-minute break mid-show. It's like, well, we're gonna play that song that doesn't have drums now. Right? The show never stopped. And so that was a really good thing about us. Like we were really teamwork oriented that way. Another good thing was like, you know, I had a rule, like if you sell merch, then outright keep 25% of the money. I don't care what you charge for the merch, you know, just so what would happen is we'd have a merch stand at the back, which would get some traffic, but then you'd have Mike Zinger and Rowan walk around the bars after the gig and be like, hey, have you seen our new album? What about, do you like our hockey jerseys? Yeah, well, we need to get to the next town. And Hobnob, Zinger would sell $200 or $300 worth of merch and pocket an extra $100 sometimes a night. And it's like, so we just had this way as a team. It was like, we're all in it together. And that's what I feel like we're starting to achieve.
So the takeaway from this is that if anyone wants to go sell merch, you're welcome to.
Well, that's true, actually. I asked my cousin if she wanted to start online t-shirt business, and I'd give her half the profit, you know, for interior weather and wilderness watchers, whatever design I wanted to make. I don't have the time or the brains to fucking sit down and do that stuff.
Oh,
right. That's why I had a guy whose job it was as a publisher to just make sure that my published work was getting the pay I deserved. And I gave him a percentage of money for that, like, and a pretty high percentage. But, you know, over the years, what would my SoCan royalties have been if he wasn't after every show just writing up a fake set list and sending it into SoCan and being like, here's the original songs the Outlaw Band played tonight, let alone radio play, right? The guy made us a ton of money. And it's like, well, you earned it. Fucking have your share, man. I mean, like, you can't do it all yourself, right? So in that way, someday we're gonna sell this show to fucking who knows who, and we'll be like on CNN or something, and we'll all live a little better. That's the dream.
CNN.
This is CNN.
That's your dream is CNN. That's a bad dream, man.
Fake news.
Of course, it's
Awful. Think bigger, man. Think bigger.
Maybe the Weather Network.
You're right.
You know
Al
what?
Jazeera. That's bigger.
The Weather Network is way more fitting. CNN. No.
Real actual news about the world. We want to be on Al Jazeera.
That'd be
The worldwide meteorological report now on Al Jazeera.
You know, I'm actually a little surprised that Frankie hasn't made an appearance there. He does global weather stuff. So he gets a little weird with it. He gets a little kooky. He takes the lead. He just runs with it. So if Al Jazeera has a weather component, Frankie's going to make his way there. It's only
I think Al
Jazeera
Jazeera is like decidedly not funny. It's like, that's not what they are.
Well, yeah, but Frankie's weather reports aren't always comedy based. He just runs wild with it and just like scattershot gives us weather updates.
We got a big storm coming this weekend, don't we?
Maybe. I mean,
10 to 20 centimeters up north, including Beaver Creek. There's always a place called Beaver Creek everywhere.
Beaver Creek.
Every region in Canada has a Beaver Creek, not just every province, like every region within a province. So it's the Okanagan probably has one.
As Canadians, we're required to. It's a bylaw of every municipal government to have a Beaver Creek. To be considered Canadian, you have to name something Beaver Creek. It doesn't have to have a beaver or a creek around it, but
no, it's got to have a beaver in it.
Status.
It's got to have a beaver in it. What's everyone got this week to talk about on the show?
I don't know.
We got beaver mines here.
Well, I got caught in a blizzard there on Monday night. Nearly lost my way in the snow.
Oh boy.
Building.
Where were you trying to get to? Where are you trying to get to that you got lost?
I had to go over and feed the neighbor's dog. And all of a sudden this blizzard hit and I thought, oh, I'll run over there quick before it gets too bad. And I got caught in the snow. I drove my pickup in the ditch and I had to walk home. I was wading drifts up to my waist by the time I got home.
That's how people die. That's how people die in Canada, even if it's half a kilometer sometimes.
Yeah.
It's harrowing, even though you don't really think of it. It's like, oh, it's just a normal thing that happens in Canada. I broke down in the middle of the damn winter.
Yeah.
With snow so crazy, it will destroy your will to live.
Well, snow comes from all directions at once.
So I'll be asking you
can't
about
tell which way the wind is blowing. You can't tell where you're going. You're just lost.
It's like an avalanche in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon, what do you got this week?
What I got this week? We'll break down the recent little snow event that we had. Some areas got at least up to 30 centimeters of snow, including the city of Calgary there. And then this cold Arctic air mass that is just nasty last couple of days. My nostrils froze together today. That was nice. And then, we're in...
have your nostrils thawed. I'll ask you to say that.
Yeah, they have now thawed. Now that I'm indoors, they have now thawed out. And and then we'll warm up this weekend, and then take a sneak peek at next week as well. All that and so much fun,
Well, I got a punchline too. I'll throw that before you. Imogen, obviously, we got. You're the cover girl.
Yep. Twice in 1 month. Although the dates that are printed on the magazines, the first one, it came out in January. It's supposed to be a January publication, but it's dated for December, which I think it was actually a typo that they backdated it. I think that their editor kind of borked that one. And this one is dated for February, but it actually came out in January. And that one, I thought it was supposed to be a January issue, but I think I got bumped to the following one. But I got the announcement that in December, I got the announcement that I would be on 2 covers in January. So
2 times.
Yeah, I'm still going to take credit for 2 covers in 1 month.
Double cover girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little different than newspapers.
You'll be responsible. You'll be responsible for the TV show talk.
Cool. There's not much to say. It's that we're developing.
Well, we're gonna hype it up, right? We gotta hype it up.
Oh yeah.
Make it sound like I know it's just cable access, but it's like one thing I do give it. It's like it's not too hard to get on your local cable channel. That's not too hard to do. But what is cool is that we may have the ability to be distributed in multiple places, right? And that's hard to achieve, period. I just think that's a really great, often people say it's good for exposure. And I used to say, well, I'm dying of exposure, but that's the kind of exposure. That's good exposure.
I guess. I mean, I'm usually getting hit with indecent exposure, but that's because of my aversion to pants. Just saying.
Oh, I've never
needs to see that. Unless it's on the cover of a magazine.
That's what other people say.
I'll let other people complain about that. That seems like
I don't
someone
like-
else problem.
I don't
I'm just
like
gonna
that.
enjoy the sun. Or the snow, or whatever we got going on.
I got newspaper, radio, TV, sponsor announcement. So I haven't told you guys this yet, but so I was like putting out today, like, because I got my laptop up and running right now, so that's great. That means I can make this show with all the extra quirks that are saved on my computer. And then, so, I've been kind of like, I'd like to find a sponsor to help me get a new computer, blah, blah, blah. My friend Michelle's got a garlic farm. She's like, tell you what, send you the grand you need. So I sent the money to Simon. The computer's going to be packed up and sent this week. And the thing's crazy. It's Simon's one of my longest friends on earth, and he's a genius. So this is exactly what I want. It's the complete opposite of sketchy. I believe in my Simon. So I'm going to have like the most powerful computer I've ever probably touched very soon. And that's paid for. So that means, we'll be giving her some when she's got things going on with garlic. And I said, one of the things we can do too is just have you come on the show and talk about garlic farming, right?
Yep.
Of course. You're in outside Lumbee. We have no one from Lumbee on the show. And Michelle's cool. So she's paid for the computer that's going to take us to a TV show.
Ooh. And if we
Yeah,
have
so-
to talk about garlic, it means that we're officially vampire free. This
That's
is an
true.
added bonus. It's like an insurance policy against vampires.
It's true, man. There's so many weather statements everywhere right now. It's just like the whole of Canada is in the red, right? And
In the
BC is
red.
expecting big storm this weekend in BC. I mean, I bet you we'll get another 30 centimeters easily here. Like we probably had 2 feet fall in the last number of events here. That was significant, quite significant. I mean, you probably saw some of my videos. I've been removing glaciers from people's roofs, right?
Mhm.
Like literally snow just stacked up in crazy looking layers. We got 5 minutes till Frankie gets here.
Right.
Hey, Kyle Brome's even. Beaver has to be in it, he says. Right on. Never seen Kyle in the chat before. Good to see you, buddy. 5 minutes till Frankie. 4 minutes till Frankie. If anyone's got anything you want to do for the show, now's the time. Fill my water.
I'm gonna just eat another chocolate lollipop. That's what I'm gonna do.
Hey, Frankie Corcoran, you haven't said anything yet. What do you got for the show tonight?
No, well, yeah, so things have been going good, actually. Some of you might notice I got a bit of a frog in my throat, but as they say in the theater business, show must go on. That doesn't stop me. But yeah, no, the podcast has been going good, and I've actually been busy with my upcoming play. It's a murder mystery that I wrote. We'll be staging that next month, so we've been crazy busy with practices, and that's why I haven't really had time to come on.
What's the name of the murder mystery? I just need a talking point with which to introduce you with, right? So, I mean, that's a good one. What's the murder mystery?
Death costs dearly.
Death costs dearly. That's excellent. Okay. In Miramichi.
Miramichi, New Brunswick. That's the spot.
Okay. I'll be right back in 2 minutes. Anyone want to talk?
Not really.
Boom, boom.
That's
Hello,
like a
hello.
threat.
Don't want to talk.
Joey's threatening us.
I'm just going to mute my mic so I can cough.
Great, thanks.
There we go. There's sometimes I forget to do it. I'm like, oh shit, I just.
Yeah. It happens sometimes in broadcasting.
Broadcasting, yeah, no, it's the worst. Like you try to push it away, and I'm like, other people use this mic too sometimes. So I'm like, I don't want to cough at it.
Luckily, no one else uses this mic, so We're
There,
good.
that's yours. That's got Brandon's name right on it.
That's right.
I find the
Is that-
cold gets bad at nighttime mostly. That's always when it hits you the worst. Nighttime or morning.
We used to have this German auctioneer who had a saying. Of course, he spoke with a real bad German accent, right? And his name was Mike, and he would say, "I just want to announce it that whenever you hear a German accent, it isn't the speaker, it's the mic, because this mic was made in Germany." It was just the greatest joke he could have to open up his his auctioneering business, because you're always using a PA system, right?
Exactly. How's that lollipop? Good?
Yeah, it's pretty okay. I
Looks
just
looks like you're enjoying it. She's like leaned back just like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, she's liking that.
it was falling
She's
apart.
just like, kick your feet back up, you know.
Chocolate covered lollipops.
Well, yeah, I made them. So
You did.
oh yeah, I make a lot of candy. Total kitchen wizard, and I went on this whole binge where I made like over the course of a weekend, I think I made about 20 pies, like a bunch of lemon meringue,
Wow.
apple, and caramel pies and stuff like that. Like just no reason for it. I just wanted to bake pies, so I just started giving them to people around me. So, like one of my neighbors got like 4 pies, and then I just called up a buddy. I'm like, "Hey, you're home? Good. I'll be there in a minute." I just dropped off 3 pies. There's no reason
Wow.
for it. I think he might be diabetic, but I didn't ask. I just wanted to give some pies away. So, and then I went and made a whole bunch of chocolates. So, this was one of the last ones left. So, I'm gonna have to make more.
I guess so.
Mhm. That's right.
How does my audio sound tonight?
Well, that
Really
sounds
good. Really good.
Good.
Cool. Excellent. Then we can let Frankie know we're ready for him. 7. And you know, Frankie, he's usually spot on time.
Oh yeah, Frankie's a wizard. He'll just roll in right on the button, 7:01. He'll be here with
He's
his
just gonna roll up
scattershot-
behind somebody.
Yeah, he's just gonna pop in with like a scattershot weather report and like his link tree. He's amazing. He's a fascinating creature.
Brandon's just talking. All of a sudden, he turns around. Frankie's behind him. Like,
Wouldn't be surprised.
There he is. Okay, then I'm going to start the recording process here.
I
Drink the water. The second we see Frankie, there he is. I'm going to hit record and start
Hello,
our
Frankie
beautiful
Mac.
show with our beautiful friend Frankie. Good morning, Prince George. Good afternoon, Winnipeg. Hello, whenever Kamloops. I'm not sure if and when we're being broadcast yet on CFBX, but hello to you from Joey Only here in the Caribou. I'm up here in Wells, British Columbia, and this is the Meteorological Report. Comedy plus meteorology equals meteorology. Episode 98 for the day of February 23rd, 2023. 23, that's right. Yes. And I'm here with the normal panel of meteorologists as usual. We got Frankie McDonald, the star of the show out in Sydney, Nova Scotia. He is the man, and we'll be talking to him first in just a minute. We also got Brandon Hoke. He's in Brooks, Alberta. He's the big guy at 105.7 Real Country Radio. And this week he's home and not in the studio. So we actually get Brandon on sort of a Brandon wavelength. We got 2 Frankies tonight. Frankie Corcoran's back with us. He's down there in Miramichi, New Brunswick. We'll be talking to him. Imogen Cookie Bailey, of course. She's done some great work for the show, and we're going to be asking her about that. But she's also on the cover of 2 magazines. She's now a Paris magazine Paris model magazine of modeling, a Paris fashion magazine model
I
cover
weep for
girl.
you. I weep for you, Joey. I weep for you.
What I'm trying to say is she's really pretty, and everyone knows it, even the friggin' people in France. How's that? Weep for me. Weep
Close
for
enough.
yourself. Yeah, you're the cover girl. Okay, and then we got Hilden McDonaldson. He's the cover boy in Grassy Plains. We got everybody here, and The thing is, we all got to up our game because soon we're going to be a TV show. And so that means most of us have great faces for radio. Image doesn't have to work too much on her background. They say she's fine. But when we become a TV show, we're going to have to change our lighting, improve our faces. The plastic surgery's booked. I'll get the nose fixed, I promise, in time for TV. We got to look good. We're going to be a TV show, everybody. Frankie McDonald, how you doing so far?
I'm doing great so far. Mozambique is getting hit by Tropical Cyclone Freddy, bringing a lot of power lines down, bringing a lot of power lines, staff and tree branches and telephone poles in half, bringing a lot of flooding from Tropical Cyclone Freddy. It's hitting parts of South Africa. It's hitting Mozambique. It's hitting parts of Zimbabwe and things like this, and parts of Botswana. It's just hitting Madagascar on Wednesday. Tropical Cyclone Freddy crossed all the way from Indonesia, all the way to Mozambique, Africa. Went all across the ocean from Indonesia to Mozambique. That's a long way.
And the storm is as big as Canada, they said. Is that true?
Yes. And Los Angeles is getting a lot of rain and tomorrow because the cold air is going all the way down to Los Angeles. Even Mexico's getting it, like Baja California. They're bringing snow up in the mountains, like Victorville, California, or north of Los Angeles up in the mountains where they're bringing snow there. They're going to bring so much rain to Los Angeles tomorrow. This is a spot where I do Gary Dino show, Boo Zoom on Saturday nights. That's the spot where I do it on Gary Dino show.
Out walking around in Sydney, Nova Scotia tonight. Frankie,
Yeah.
What's the weather like in Sydney?
Right now, it's cold outside, but it's a little windy on down Charlotte Street in Sydney, Nova Scotia right now. This is Charlotte Street in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Here it is. And I'm showing you Sky Charlotte Street. Here it is. Total solar eclipse taking place Sydney, Nova Scotia, Monday, April 8th, 2024. All you guys are coming to Sydney.
We are, and we're going to broadcast it on TV, I'm sure. We're going to make like the coolest meteorological report episode ever when we're all in Sydney, Frankie.
And did you hear about this? Because total solar eclipse taking place in Sydney, Nova Scotia on Monday, April 8th, 2024. It's cold outside in Sydney, Nova Scotia, bringing a lot of snow in Montreal and Toronto and Wisconsin, North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Montana. Oregon had snow. Brian told me that they had so much snow in Portland, Oregon.
I saw that, like a foot of snow at the airport, he said, in Portland. Frankie, so there was a big bad earthquake in Turkey, and there's been another one this week. What's happened there? The houses that seem to have stood up until this point, many of them fell down and more people are dead, missing.
It's really bad in Turkey. It's a fault line. Caused a lot of damages to buildings and things like this. A lot of people all the way in Turkey watch my video.
Yeah, that's true. I heard about that. What's going on in Russia this week with that cold? I see eastern half of Russia is very cold.
It's going to gradually warm up in the month of March.
And what about in Ukraine this week? What's the weather doing there where the war is happening?
It's getting cold out. It's getting cold. It's cold out there right now.
It's cold in Ukraine right now. Frankie, what's going on in Australia?
Right now, they're bringing warm weather in Australia. Right now, their fall starts next month. In New Zealand, they got hit by. They're getting more warm weather and lots of showers and things like this, and it's hot weather in Western Australia. It's summertime there right now.
What's going on in outer space, Frankie? Any space news?
Lots of asteroids and things like this. I got something else to say. It's very hot in Florida today.
Yeah, I saw that there's record temperatures in the south half of the United States and for heat, and then record temperatures in the north half of North America. So it's kind of like, it reminds me of being in bed with some of my girlfriends. It's like, I'm super hot and she's freezing cold. That's what North America is like right now. It's like my bed.
That is a disturbing analogy. Thank you. Thank you again.
And I found out Trey Campbell's coming to Sydney next year for Total Solar Eclipse. Trey Campbell, Joey Only, Image, and Brandon, you're coming to Sydney.
We will, and hopefully the weather will be good. Hopefully, and I'll be game too.
Base Guy Show got a new computer. Base Guy got a new computer already because somebody from Indonesia donated money to Base Guy Show's GoFundMe and for the Base Guy Show for his new computer. Base Guy finally get it. His mission is accomplished.
Hey, Frankie, and today I sent the money for my new computer thanks to, and we have a sponsor that we're not ready to really go with yet, but I'll still mention anyways. Saddle Mountain Garlic Farms here in British Columbia has ponied up $1,000 for me to go get the computer I need to make this show a TV show. So we're growing, we're getting there. So that's good. People are helping, and they see that. And you know what's going to happen at Sydney, Nova Scotia on the day of the big eclipse is that all our podcasts are going to have a big fight to see who's the best podcast. And Gary and Dean are going to win because those guys are tough.
What about that other guy, Jason Marshall? We don't have cookies. Jamie Clump, Kinds of Clump podcast. Imogen, did you talk to Jamie Clump today?
You know I did, Frankie. You were with me. Like,
Is he tough?
I went on the Kinson Clump podcast with Frankie earlier today. Frankie and I had a conversation on the show. So thank you for checking in, buddy. Yes, that's what I did today.
Do you think Kins and Clump would beat us? Like, I think Gary and Dino are the leading.
Gary and Dino, Kins and Clumps, and your podcast are coming to Sydney. The Base Guy show is coming to Sydney next year.
I think maybe we should try to have a soccer game or something instead of a fight, because even then, I'm pretty sure Gary and Dino would give us a pretty good run. Those guys are tough.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, it was if we're doing like a podcast death match, I don't want to go against Gary and Dino.
No, I mean, you and I are pretty tough, but we'd have Brandon on our side, which is
what
huge.
About Jason Marshall? We don't have cookies.
To be fair, Brandon would make an excellent human shield. So,
what about Roger the Wild Child Show? He's coming down too, and Compound Media guys are coming down.
We'll have to use Brandon Houck's ability to run really fast somehow to our advantage. Hilding, he might be pretty tough. He's a cowboy. I mean, how many cows have you punched?
Oh, I've done a few already.
Uh,
I used to be the guy who could tame down a wild horse for when my buddies would have a horse. I'd take off on him. I'd go ride it down, but that was years ago.
Yeah. Nice. Well, we are maybe not the toughest podcast, but we're pretty good. Anybody got questions for Frankie McDonald this week?
Well, I usually have a question regarding a Sharknado in some sort of terrain, but I think I'm going to stick with the whole what's going on Mars right now. What kind of weather is Mars experiencing at the moment, Frankie?
Mars is getting really, really, really bad sandstorms. It's uninhabitable planet.
Okay, now that is going to roll into a question regarding a Sharknado in a sandstorm. Now, at the current wind speed, how many full-size megalodon sharks would Mars be able to carry with one gust?
A lot.
Lighter gravity there. Yeah. I mean, the gravity's 1/6 of the Earth's gravity, right? So you can't imagine how many megalodons could be carried in an Earth's setting. What do you think, Frankie?
That means that the Earth setting and Mars setting are different. That means Mars winds is more powerful than Earth's.
That's right. One gust on Mars will send a lot more shrapnel and debris way farther than that same volume of force for the same gust on Earth. So with that being said, 1/6 of the weight, a megalodon, you can just shot put that bastard. So a decent gust of wind can hurl a whole flock of eggs. It'd be great. Whip them into the side of a cliff or off a cliff, throw them at a village.
Frankie, if there was a large pile of shark bones that got picked up by a tornado, could it still be called a Sharknado?
Yes.
So they don't have to be alive to be Sharknado.
They don't have to be alive to be Sharknado.
Okay.
We're
getting to the bottom.
Bits. Yeah, deconstructing the elements that comprise a Sharknado, it's important to have this information. So it doesn't have to be live sharks. It can just be shark pieces. Bones, teeth, skeletons. All good.
Who else has questions for Frankie McDonald? All right then. Frankie, what YouTube videos you make this week?
I did a Mozambique tropical cyclone video. People all the way in Botswana, South Africa, and Mozambique are watching my videos.
Okay. We'll be rolling with that. How many subscribers now? 283,000?
Yes, 283,000 subscribers right now because I did a forecast for Minnesota, Wisconsin, South Dakota.
That's excellent, Frankie. Every time you go up another 1,000.
And guess what? I was on one of the radio stations in San Francisco, California today.
When we first started the show 2 years ago, back on episode 1, you were at 265,000. You
Yeah.
added tens of thousands in the time it took me to add 1,000 subscribers. Thank you, everybody, for subscribing to Joey on the Caribbean Weather Dude, where you can see the show and you can also hear us on C for 88.7 FM in Prince George Saturday mornings, and it repeats on Tuesdays. You can hear us on CKUW 95.9 FM in Winnipeg. Of course, you can hear us maybe at CFBX Kamloops, and soon you're going to be hearing us, seeing us on cable TV. More about that in a few minutes. But first, we need to get to the Western Canada weatherman himself, Brandon Hauk, who today had his nose frozen solid. And I said that he should do an experiment where if he blows his nose out to see, because it's so cold, to see if his snot turns to snow before it hits the ground. Did you try this?
I actually chickened out and went inside. So I tried to do it inside and it all came out as water. So I know that's a great visual for everybody. But anyways.
I don't mind it. It's pretty good. I mean, especially for radio, we have to try to give these visuals. It's minus 23 right now in Wells tonight. I'm expecting it to go down to 27 or 28, maybe 29. This is the worst of it for us. How bad's it been in the prairies? How bad's Winnipeg got it? How bad you got it?
Oh, well, not as bad as this December cold front, but our cold Arctic air mass that we had. However, it's been, a couple of fairly cold days. We had the system move through Monday night to Tuesday. It dropped a significant amount of snow. Yeah, the Arctic high to the north. We had the low pressure system develop in Montana. And whenever that happens, whenever you get low pressure in Montana, you get the circulation around the high pressure in the Northwest Territories and the circulation around the low pressure in Montana. You get yourself that upslope enhancement, and that's why we had up to over 30 centimeters of snowfall in Calgary. That also caused quite a bit of problems on Tuesday morning, especially for that Tuesday morning commute. We picked up around 10 centimeters of snow here and around 19 to 20 plus centimeters in Medicine Hat and Lethbridge. So pretty good snowfall, especially after most of the snow has melted for the last couple of weeks with Chinook conditions there. So yeah, and then the cold Arctic air mass slid in from the north and we saw those temperatures plummet. And oh man, we are at not too bad, mid minus 20s, wind chills at least in the minus 30s to feeling like minus 40 in many locations across Alberta and Saskatchewan at this hour as of February 23rd. All of Alberta, all of Saskatchewan is currently under the extreme cold warning for wind chills once again tonight to reach minus 40.
And when I saw the list of all on Environment Canada of all the places in Saskatchewan under extreme cold, my first thought was, I didn't know Saskatchewan had so many places.
Oh yeah. It's a popular province. There's more than
it's
just
like
grass.
When you look at Manitoba's, number of regions it has for forecasts, right? It's like extreme cold for these 15 places. And then here's Saskatchewan, a province with like half the population. It's like,
yeah.
It's like you could be reading through that for a while. And of course, we're expecting, it's weather's so bad, you'll try every religion to make it stop. That's what's going on right now.
I found it out next month. Siberia is going to gradually warm up next month. Once again, in the month of April, Siberia probably go somewhat above freezing in Siberia, Yakutsk, and Omyankan in northwest Russia. They'll be starting to warm up next month.
I can't wait. So what exactly is BC looking at this weekend, and when does the cold weather stop for the prairies?
Well, the good news is we do have a pretty powerful system moving on the coast sections of BC. So BC is going to take it on the chin while we celebrate on this side of the Rocky Mountains. And that's usually how it happens here. You get a significant amount of snow through British Columbia, and potential there for some significant rainfall for parts of the BC coast, but I would not rule out some of that starting off with some snow here, as I noticed parts of Vancouver Island or areas around Nanaimo just got buried in snow just a couple of days ago. So they're digging out from that significant snowfall as well. At least up to a foot of snow has fallen there. So we're going to be watching that very closely as we go through the weekend. Meanwhile, as we get that low pressure system crosses the Rockies, it's going to allow for temperatures to rebound nicely into the prairies. We'll see our temperatures right around that freezing mark, which will be quite nice. And even Manitoba by next week, Monday there, it's going to finally warm up as well for fairly briefly before cooling right back down again. So there's a little bit of a reprieve in the forecast as we go into next week, which I think after the weather last couple of days, we definitely deserve it again. Hey, yeah, maybe
Yeah.
not.
Did you notice that I'm very Alberta centric today? I got the Vulcan, Alberta Curling Club, a lovely curling club.
Oh, yes.
In Vulcan, Alberta, which, as you know,
Oh.
has the Star Trek display that goes
Yep.
on every year. It's got the Starship Enterprise and all that. Can you do that stuff? Look at that. Ooh.
Sorta.
Yeah, you
I
can't
can't
do it.
even
And I
do a
got
cartwheel. So
also on here, it says Bluegrass is Dead, the Give 'em Hell Boys. And that's one of Edmonton, Alberta's great outlaw country bands who I've played with many times and stay at Quinn's house and poached his bass player to play with us when ours couldn't come. And love the Give 'em Hell Boys. I'm very Alberta centric right now today. That's for all you Alberta. So yeah, tonight, Prince George has got like this Thursday night when we're making this is minus 35 potential wind chill, risk of frostbite. So it's going to look really nice when that starts warming up as the new weather comes in.
That's
So by
happening with
Saturday,
rain too this weekend. Risk of frostbite for St. Anthony, Newfoundland. There's an extreme cold warning in Labrador, like Goose Bay, all the way up to northern Labrador. Risk of frostbite up in Labrador.
yeah, and through northern Quebec and northern Ontario as well. So it's really gripped the entire northern continent, and it's squeezing down in the States. So by Saturday, the Prince George, high of -6. It's going to seem so nice. Snow, periods of snow. There's a lot of snow coming this weekend. We got special weather statements across BC, and I'm sure there'll all be warnings by the time this show airs. Sunday, snow, high of -3. Yes, low of -11. I like that seasonal. That's great. -3 on Monday. Cloudy with 30% chance of flurries, low -18. That's a little bit harsh. But Tuesday again, 30% chance of flurries, high of -5, cloudy periods, low of -15. Prince George, we're coming out of it slowly, but this has been a nasty reminder that we're not technically in out of meteorological winter yet. Okay.
Tuesday, February 28th is the last day of meteorological winter in regular years. February 29th is the last day of meteorological winter in leap years.
That's right. So the groundhog came out of the hole earlier this month and saw that it's going to be a leap year and said there's going to be one extra day of winter this year. And we're like, right on, groundhog. You're
Not this
brilliant.
year, but next year.
All right. Next year, the groundhog will see that. Of course.
Well, the groundhog's stupid anyway. We figured that one out.
That's
It
true.
was a
We had
very
whole
blunt
episode.
and bold statement. It was a very
No,
bold
we-
statement to say that our national weather forecasting animal is stupid. But I agree. Groundhogs are stupid.
They are stupid. And now
I
the
heard-
human of the week around here is Imogen Cookie Bailey. Imogen Cookie Bailey, you're the human of the week. You're on the cover of fashion magazines out of friggin' Paris, right? So it's like anything that's cool that we're doing is kind of like, that's a little bit of a, hey boys. And the Brandon's like, yeah, I'm on a new radio station this week. It's like, I'm on Paris fashion cover. Take that. I mean, that's
Oh,
kind
you've
of
had an
a
achievement. That's cute. Here's mine.
yeah.
Paris Fashion Magazine.
That means that
2-page
really
interview
cold
and like
winter
20
coming.
pages of whatever I'm doing in there. Yeah, front cover, also back cover, man. I got both cover spots. Like they just plastered me all over this thing. Yeah, front cover, back cover, inside cover. Seriously, there's like I don't like looking at myself that much. It's weird. So
Well, the rest of the world seems to.
well, someone in Paris does, a publisher in Paris, and the other one that I did last month was based on New York. So I got my face all over the cover of that one as well. So neat, fun. I like to think it's a little bit ironic, but I'm wearing my KFC tracksuit just because it's. There are a lot of ideas about what a cover model does and doesn't eat, and I'm very happy to represent KFC. I'm not afraid of a bucket of chicken. Just saying.
Yeah, well, it's a fashion statement in itself, right? So you don't.
It is. It's also I'm getting unbearably, uncomfortably warm. So I've been wearing this all day, and now it's finally warming up in here. So I'm just switching over
mean,
to
the
something a lot lighter.
The
What?
truth is, it's freezing in my house, and I got the wood stove open and cranked, and but I wanted to wear my Alberta stuff, and I wanted to represent the Vulcan Alberta
Yeah.
Curling Club. I used to really like curling back when I drank. You
See, I
think,
thought you were just more into Vulcans than curling. So that
No,
one makes
now I'm more
sense.
into Vulcans. Now that I'm
Yeah.
sober, the logic of the Vulcan, woo, is definitely what I'm into. Can you do that with your hands? Isn't that whoa? Us ambidextrous guys.
Yeah, my little hands do it. My little hands are lacquered in
Yeah,
metal.
yeah.
I can
Can you
do
put
it.
them together and then separate them?
Yeah.
You're not doing
Bad
it. Ah,
puns.
you're terrible.
I know. I never said I was
Maybe it's
good.
close.
No one. First off, not many people
Shit.
accuse me of being human, let alone human of the week. So, but then good at stuff? No, no. My talents are limited to
Not
mediocrity.
good. Your talents are good. So you're also human of the week for another reason around here. Imogen, talk to us about how you are spreading the joy and making us all super famous around here, and how we're all going to be big stars because of Imogen's new achievement. We're going to be on TV, everybody. I'm so excited. No,
Woo!
Super famous.
good.
I love it.
No,
Okay.
it's good. It's a really good thing.
Yeah,
More reach.
so yeah, so that's kind of a fun one. Tomorrow I'm going to be going into Shaw Cable to sign a little bit of paperwork that I got a little lost on when I was trying to do it online. So I'm going to go over some details with one of the guys at Shaw, and we're going to have a spot on Shaw Spotlight. So for the Victoria region, West Coast, whatever, I'm not sure how they break down their regions, but for this region, we're going to be getting some airtime on Shaw Spotlight. So that's what we're doing. We're moving into a TV component, as well as our radio stations and whatever your local newspaper, website, daily thing is. So yeah, so we're covering more media. And I've got a couple other TV stations in the crosshairs that I'm going to be going after once we get more of a foothold on Shaw. So ideally within this year, we will be branching onto 3 different TV channels. At the moment, we're hitting Shaw. So paperwork is signed tomorrow. It's not 100% at the moment, but signing off tomorrow. So there we go. That's what we're doing.
Potential that other Shaw stations will pick it up across the country, especially if we have people in different regions. Like tonight, we got Frankie Cochran in Miramichi. We got Imogen in Victoria. We got Frankie in Nova Scotia. We got Brandon in Alberta. We got Hilding here in Northern BC. You know, there's a lot of regions right there that, and as we grow our cast of meteorologists, that we can really possibly branch that out, right? So that's just
definitely.
It's a good sign of growth. You know, we're not
100%.
just a radio show anymore.
100%. We're
building an empire.
We'll go over details off the air for what the game plan is for expanding our reach and expanding our coverage. Definitely not on-air conversation because that's not interesting to anyone else. But still, we've got some details to go over for what the game plan actually is, but we will be expanding.
I found it. USA has their own guys. They got their own guys out there down in the States. Joe, you do it for Canada.
Yeah, you know, exactly. We're going to be like the Canada show, I think, for this someday, because no one's ever made a show about comedy and meteorology. No one's ever made a show about how much the weather sucks.
You know, I feel like this is like Steve Martin territory. I feel like he would have done a character that kind of fits this. I'm not sure why I'm thinking Steve Martin. I just really like that dude. And it's kind of in the vein of characters he would have done and kind of his forte. So has anyone contacted Steve Martin?
I'd love to have him on the show because he's one of my favorite humans on earth. Like I'm a huge fan of his music. I'm a huge fan of he's a genius on all regards, you know. And he would sit here in my position and he'd say something like, I just thought that people were mostly bad drivers, but then I realized that I was wrong, that actually that most people are just bad at everything.
Yeah, he's solid. He is so
He's
solid.
brutally honest.
I wrote that joke. Come on. You mean I'm sorry?
Garner.
He would say that joke, wouldn't he? You like my delivery? No?
What about that other guy, Trevor Garner, aka Trevor Safiawer? He's getting a lot of rain tomorrow, very cold temperatures.
Is he now? Well, who have we not talked to yet? So we got all the good news from Imogen on the cover, deservedly so.
2 covers,
getting us on some TV, deservedly so. We haven't talked to Frankie Corcoran, who, he's our friend over in Miramichi, New Brunswick. We've had him on a few times. He runs a podcast out there. And right now, he's working on a play that he wrote, a murder mystery called Death Costs Dearly. How's the weather in Miramichi, New Brunswick, Frankie Corcoran?
Weather in Miramichi, New Brunswick. Currently, we are actually getting a little bit of snow tomorrow. Nothing crazy. It's funny, the last few Fridays, we've had about like 15, 30 centimeters, which is funny. It always lands on a Friday. Excuse me, pardon my voice. The weather's catching up to me, and it's giving me a sickness, but the show must go on. But yeah, no, so we're getting a little bit tonight. It's not a crazy amount. I'd say probably about like 2 to 4 centimeters. But it's so funny. People see 1 centimeter on the floor, on the ground, and they're like, oh my God, it's a big storm. But in reality, it's like, oh, come on, it could be a lot worse. Like, you guys know, there's so many places around here that have it a lot worse than we do here. So
We had 2 feet fall last weekend.
It's like the Mozambique tropical cyclone Freddy that brought flood, mudslides, landslides, caused a lot of damage, just bring down power lines, knock out power, destroying buildings, snap telephone poles, snap tree branches that bring down power lines, causing mudslides, landslides, big waves crash on beaches, shores, and Mozambique is going to bring so much wind and rain there.
That's the worst place.
yeah, so people
worst
got it
weather
so
in the
much
world.
worse, you know?
Worst weather in the world, I guess. Say, Frankie.
Mozambique
Mozambique?
tropical cyclone Freddy.
Oh,
Right. So, Frankie Corcoran, you've written a murder mystery, and you're working on the theatrical production, and so you're busy a lot. Sorry, I had to put my hoodie back on. You're busy a lot making this play. It's a murder mystery. So, tell us about it. Who did it?
Yeah, well, as much as I'd love to say, people watching it right now, who are from my area, we're actually doing a little contest within during the production. We're gonna have a chance to win a gift card if you guess the murderer correctly. So if I say it on here, there might be someone out there who might might be, oh, there's the perfect opportunity. I win the gift card. So
I'm gonna guess
with
the
it-
murderer is Frankie Corcoran.
ooh, could be. I'm behind the scenes, so I mean, like, maybe I very well could have pulled some strings and done something.
Oh, you're
but
not acting. You're just directing. Okay, I see.
you could
yeah,
have
writing, directing.
If you're
You put
acting
some
in it,
strings
I'd
and
ask you
murdered
to
people.
recite a line, or at least murder someone for us.
Oh, I could.
I would be in favor of
I can make
this.
that happen.
If you would like to
You're
do
in
a
favor of that?
demonstration- Yes, if you'd like to demonstrate a murder on the air, then this would really promote your murder mystery.
Oh, okay,
It's just
perfect. So for all of
acting.
you guys,
Yes.
it's just
It's
acting. Don't worry, and then they're not moving. I got
It's not
nobody
your
here.
normal
Everyone in my house
murder.
is sleeping.
It's not a normal murder. It's an art murder. It's
You're like, you want to see
copyrighted.
how it's done? Come see Death Costs Dearly, March 31st to April 1st in Miramichi, New
This
Brunswick.
murder is copyrighted. You can't go to jail.
This is
for anything.
copyright, exactly.
You can't send me to jail for this. I got this murder copyrighted.
No, exactly. I'm protected, man.
It's murder, it's conceptual murder. It's the concept of murder as opposed to actual murder.
Yes,
you know,
exactly. There's a very distinct difference.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
one's
like
legal.
the artist Peter up north there, who he got his whole Van Campen, and he got his whole property, intellectual property rights to his property as an art installation, and then the oil and gas people could no longer come on his property. Isn't that right, Hilding?
Yep.
Tell us about that. You remember that story?
Yeah, they were going to put a pipeline through his property, and they were going to put a big flare stack up, and it was going to pollute the whole area. So he had his whole farm made into a work of art, and then he had it registered and copyrighted with the government. And they said that the pipeline had to go elsewhere. They had to put it at a different place. They couldn't run it through that piece of property.
That's
And
brilliant.
that's what my song "No More Trouble in the Peace" is about. Even though in my version, Carl Matson and I at the Sunset Farm or the Sweetwater Farm, but it's actually what someone actually did.
Yeah.
Was they turned their farm into an art. So that's what you can do with your murder is before you kill someone, get it copyrighted. Then when you film it, it's an art murder.
Yes, they're a and I'm going to credit you guys for that too. I will give you guys credit. Trust me, credit where credit is due.
I bet you there's some big money in art murder.
There is actually. Now I have to start thinking of some ideas. You know, I might try and incorporate you guys in some sort of murder mystery. Who was the killer? Was it Joey only? Was
Me.
it Frankie McDonald?
It was
Yeah,
me.
yeah, there, man.
Just gonna jump on that one. I'm gonna call dibs.
Yes, there we go. I didn't even come up with the idea yet, and I know now who the killer is.
No. That's, although to be fair, that's gonna be an obvious one. No one's if Frankie is just no one would buy it. It's too implausible. No one would see Frankie as a murderer. It wouldn't work. People would be upset and outraged and heartbroken at the concept. So that's a
So it's not
no-go.
Frankie.
Yeah.
Brandon,
Well, this is the thing
one
with
that you
murder
expect
mysteries.
to be the murderer.
Yeah,
So
to be a
all-
real-
The whole
jump in.
time, Imogen's going to be so suspicious that you're like, it's got to be her.
That means it's gotta
And
be
that's
a-
what I love about murder mysteries, though, too. Like
And-
it pulls you in so many different directions. Let's say, okay, it's so obvious because also one thing too, I'm also emphasizing to my cast. I'm like, guys, anything you can do to steer the audience in a certain direction, whether it's you rub your neck a certain way, if you, I don't know, like rub anything, the audience will be paying so close attention that they'll say, oh, he did that. He had to have done it. So I said, anything you can do to steer the audience in any direction, go for it. And that's what I love about murder mysteries is that it really has you
Yeah.
on glued.
And then-
Your eyes are glued to
or-
the screen or stage.
or McMurdo Station, or some scientist in Emerson Scott Sopo Station, Antarctica, could be in it.
Yes, there
Yeah.
we go. That's an idea.
On the next Meteorological report.
Yeah.
Who is
Yes,
the
there we
murderer?
go.
to be fair, if we're gonna go in more of a Louis Buñuel and Sheehan Andalou kind of direction, then I would buy Brandon as a killer. But that's, you got to go in that real 20s surrealist movement, surrealist cinema kind of direction. It's got to be
That's
really
art
out
house.
there. Absolutely, that's the only context in which Brandon's believable. Because
Or
There.
if Imogen is cast as a maid, then it'd be like, yep, she was definitely the killer. Because in murder mysteries, it's always the maid, no matter what it is. People always say that.
I think she'll kill you
Touche.
just for suggesting that.
I never
There's-
said I was a good
it's-
maid. Come on,
It's
my
either a
skills are
maid
limited.
or it's either a maid or what's the always
butler?
obvious suspect. Butler,
Is
yeah,
it the
maid
butler?
butler, maid butler.
cliche.
There's something else.
The biggest
no,
we got-
cliche, and you can't remember it. What kind of a
We do
murder
have
mystery writer are you if you can't remember the number one cliche of your genre, of your format?
We do
Wow.
Well,
have
there's
a
one.
cowboy. We do have a
This is
cowboy.
cowboy.
We got this cowboy who's up north, and his truck broke down this week, and he was like wandering through drifts of snow named Hilding, right? He's on the show. He's the quiet one. No one suspects that the quiet one's the killer. Hilding Donaldson, are you the killer?
He could be. Dude's got a farm.
Well, the killer of
You hear
what?
that nervous
Yeah.
laughter? He's definitely the killer.
Well, you got pigs there.
Well, you remember we were talking 2 weeks ago about the what was it? The groundhog that I murdered with my car. So
Yeah,
Like,
you
are you
were
something
way
from
too
Deadwood
cheerful
or
about
what?
that. You're far too comfortable with groundhog murder. That it's a warning sign, man. It's a red flag.
Well, I got a deer head, a moose head, bone concoctions, a bear head. I mean,
I do
I'm
have a
living
deer head here.
in a
yeah.
realm of murder on all sides of me. So I mean,
Very true. You're in a house of death. Hilding, on the
In
other
fact,
hand, has none of
I've
these
often-
things.
joke that my place is the murder mansion because it's so bizarre looking.
Well, I mean, the
Hilding
Star Wars.
Donaldson.
Joey lives in the glass onion.
Hilding Donaldson, can you tell us? We'll get back to who killed who soon enough. But Hilding Donaldson, hey, anyone notice that Pete's not here this week?
Yes, I did notice that. Thank you.
Pete's
Dun
been
dun
missing.
dun.
Who did
He is
that?
nowhere to be seen.
More on the murder mystery soon. Hilding Donaldson. So you literally almost got stranded in blizzard-like conditions.
yeah.
When you
Well,
get to
what
your house.
happened on Monday morning, I woke up and it was snowing, and I thought, oh, we're gonna get some snow. Good. Well, till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we only had like 10 centimeters, and I'm like, we usually get like 10 centimeters an hour when we get a heavy snow. Like, this isn't a heavy snow, right? And then it cleared off, and it was nice in the afternoon. Suddenly I thought about it. Hey, I gotta go feed the neighbor's dog. I get up, and it's all of a sudden the house is dark, and it's 5 o'clock, and I know doesn't get dark till 6 now. So I wondered what's going on. I stepped out the door, and I was just about blown off the step. Like, there was this swirling wind out there, and it was just picking up this fresh snow and blowing it all over the place. I hopped in my truck and I boogied over to the neighbors, and I got halfway in the neighbor's driveway, and there was so much blowing snow, I literally could not see anything. And I drove right off the driveway into a great big hole. Got my
How
truck.
did you know you were in a hole if you couldn't see anything?
Well, it was a hole that was under the snow too. But there was no landmarks. I couldn't see the driveway. I drove off the driveway like into the ditch, into this big hole in the ditch. Eh?
So this
So
is
I
a,
left my
a
truck
common way that
there.
common way that people get killed in Canada. You know, sometimes hundreds of feet from their house when the temperature is minus 20, and it's blowing so hard you can't see what's what. I mean, I'm not making this up. This is people
Well,
dying.
I got out of the truck and I walked, and I had half a kilometer to walk home. I walked part of the way, and the snow was blowing so crazy, I nearly went walking off out into a field, like, because I couldn't see where I was going. I'm glad I got home. When I got home, I just realized I'm not going back out there in the snow, even with the tractor, to go pull my truck out. I'm just leaving it. And the next day, then it was steady down. Then it went down to minus 12, and there was a steady north wind. And I went out, and the whole driveway was 4 foot deep with snow. Like fence post to fence post, the driveway was full. And I had to spend all day with the tractor shoveling it out.
We had just a crazy amount of snow here this weekend, like that just passed. And I think we're gonna get another 30 centimeters in Wells. And we just sort of had like a few days down of avalanche conditions. But driving through Devil's Canyon tonight, I could see like lots of snowballs had rolled down, and there was parts of the side of the slope of the canyon that looked like the snow looked like it had kind of cracks in it and stuff. And like, I'm pretty sure when we get the next snowfall, there's going to be a slide here at Devil's Canyon. And how big it is, I mean, often when they do slide here, it's cleaned up pretty quick. But suspect number one, Imogen.
Yes.
You reported that you haven't said a dang word about the weather.
Yeah, no, we've actually had some uncharacteristic winterness here. We got a dusting of snow, like a half inch last night. It was gone this morning. Like by 7 a.m, it was gone. But if you happen to be cruising around in a retirement city with a few hippies with no shoes walking around, you would have seen a little dusting of snow that actually stuck. It was fascinating. People were looking out their windows, and social media was lighting up with people messaging each other saying, "Holy man, look at that snow."
I was just going to say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad was the complaining?
Well, around here, it's a very whiny demographic. So it was, well, to be fair, everyone was inside for the night. It was after 4 p.m, so no one was going out anymore. So it was more fascination than whining. So that was kind of wild. We'd gotten warnings about it, but we get them all the time. It rarely goes through. So we got a dusting. This week, we're actually looking at a high of 0 to 1 degree with a low of -3 all week.
Oh, that'd be so nice.
Clouds, a little bit of rain, back to the usual. But we got dusted with snow. It was awesome.
Man, we've had just an insane amount. I don't know if you saw my YouTube videos this week of where I'm on top of the tomato house here in Wells, on top of my own building, and literally like this, just cutting off like humongous chunks of snow and pieces and just sending it down the roof. Like,
what is the tomato house?
The tomato house is well, it's not actually a tomato.
Why not?
It's a wooden building that's painted to look like a tomato, and everyone in Wells refers to it as a tomato house.
And who's coming to Sydney, Nova Scotia on Monday, April 8th, 2024?
I'll be there.
If I can make it out there, I'll go. I promise nothing.
I'd definitely be there, Frank.
Yeah. Who else is going to be there? Gary and Dino Show, Jason Russell, We Only Have Cookies, Roger Wildchild Show, Trey Capel, King Kynes and Clump, Face Guy Show, Robin Slim Show, Reckless Airways Radio, all those guys, and Compound Media too.
We're just over 13 months away from all the coolest podcasts ever assembled going to watch the eclipse together in Sydney, Nova Scotia. And I think we should go to Cape Breton Highlands. That should be like what we do as a bunch.
Who else is coming
Watch
down?
it.
Donna Mantis podcast. Shirley Yeager is coming down. Who else is coming down? Compound Media from New York City is coming down. And who else is coming down? Chris Chittick from the El Nino Storm Hunters podcast. Who else is coming down? Jason Marshall and all those guys.
Chris Chiddick's coming?
You let him know.
Did he say he's coming, or did you tell him he's coming? Either way, that means he's coming.
You have to tell him.
Okay, you tell him, Frankie, because when you tell people, they come. You know, what's a storm chaser gonna do? Get him like it's April. It's not like there's any big story to be chasing at that time. He might as well come.
I told Aaron J. Jack he's coming back in 2024.
That's great. Let's do it.
Back on
That's
Friday,
good.
September 23rd, 2022. Aaron J. Jack, the storm chaser, met me at the Mayflower Mall just before Hurricane Fiona hit Sydney, Nova Scotia.
We are going to make the best episodes of the Meteorological Report ever. Live at the eclipse in Sydney, Nova Scotia.
The ultimate crossover.
It's
Yeah.
on a Monday too, even better.
Right. Why is that better?
Well, because it's a Monday.
Monday.
Why is that not better? I mean, okay, if you have the option of all the things that you normally do on a Monday, hanging out with Frankie, watching stuff happen, watching an event, what's better?
Compound Media is going to be there.
And
My
I figure,
point
like,
exactly.
if I'm going to go blind, I might as well do it seeing
With
Frankie's.
Frankie. Yeah, go
Yeah.
blind with Frankie. Or do whatever your normal Monday routine is, which is better.
Where else is coming down? Gary and Dino.
For all we know, Jesus himself is coming out of the eclipse.
Who else
be
is
like,
coming?
"Frankie,
Roger
my
the
son.
Wild Child Show. Roger Gardner,
I
aka
return."
Roger Wild Child Show. Trey came, all those guys are coming down.
Yeah, Trey Campbell from Houston, Texas is going to be there. Like, we can't tell everybody because you know what's going to happen is then all the people in radio and TV land are going to be like, we want to be there too. And then they'll get all the hotel rooms and we'll have to stay on Frankie's couches.
No, you guys will stay at the Holiday Inn. Gary and Dino stay at the Holiday Inn. Roger
Okay.
Wild Child, Jason Marshall, all those guys, and but base guys also coming down in 2024.
Frankie, do you have bunk beds? Is that an option? Like, do you have bunk beds?
Yeah.
No.
You're
Aw.
staying at the hotel. All you guys
You're
are
pull
staying at the hotel. A lot of those guys.
Can you
Is there
get
free
bunk beds?
breakfast at the Holiday Inn?
You have a whole year to get a bunk
Touche.
bed.
Brandon's onto something. Brandon knows what's up. Okay, now, Frankie, when's the last time you built a couch fort? Because I'm thinking that building a fort could be a great way to camp out at your place.
Oh yeah.
Couch fort.
Yeah. What about Woken the Holiday Inn Hotel?
But we can't do couch forts
Point
at the Holiday
taken.
Inn. We get kicked
That's
out.
true.
No, you build
No,
bed
you just
forts
stay at the
at the
Holiday Inn.
Holiday
That
Inn.
is all. You just stay at the Holiday Inn. That is all.
That is all.
Nowhere
Frankie
else.
does not approve of couch surfers. Holiday Inn or nothing. You
I don't
leave
know
the
why.
eclipse, you
it's
stay at
so
the Holiday
funny.
Inn. Frankie, is the Holiday Inn paying you for this? Is this a
And
paid
what about-
sponsorship we're hearing?
What about Compound Media of New York City? They're coming down, like in Hot Water Show with Gino Bisconte. He's coming down too.
Well, he better not be allowed to stay at your couch.
Yeah, I'd fight him. I'd fight that dude for couch space, Frankie.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying.
Podcast fight will be on, and we are the murder show this week. Don't
Yeah,
mess with us.
That's right.
that's right. It's a death match, podcast death match, and the prize is Frankie's couch.
That's right.
Please stay there.
Oh, murder on Frankie's couch. That's the next show
Yep.
I'm gonna do.
You should write that, Corcoran.
I'm on it right now. I'm jotting ideas down as we do this. I get I just get hit with a new idea.
Well, no, like,
only
this could be-
only if you guys come down. You guys come down and act it out.
but I don't know
Yes.
about that.
Coming down as well.
But I think that's a totally
Act it
legitimate
out. I live
thing
this.
to do. Is to make a murder mystery based on all the podcasts coming to one town together to meet, and then
Yeah.
a murder happens.
And then who did it? Yes, I love that. I love that idea.
And Monica Bowie was also coming down as well.
I'm gonna say
Love
Tater
her.
did it. Tater did it. He's always cooking meat. Where's he getting all that meat from?
Cannibalism, murder.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Watch those Gary
His
and Dino
grocery store
guys.
just
They're
has some
tough.
really great sales. His
Man,
local thrifties or whatever store he's got there, Save on Foods, Slave on. They've got great deals. That's why I will say nothing about the inside knowledge I have of his cannibalism and murder, and I will divert attention to the local grocery store, country grocer. That's his
got
jam.
Frankie laughing so hard he's whimpering.
The comedian Aaron Burger's coming down in 2024 for Total Soul Eclipse 2.
Awesome. See,
We'll call the murder mystery Murder Eclipse.
yes.
Nice.
There we go. Thank you for the idea, guys. I appreciate it.
So when Frankie and I were on Kins and Klomp earlier, there was a little, I mentioned that Frankie's got a really wild side. He's got a very colorful side that most people don't see. And we just saw a little peek of it. We just saw a little bit of insight into what it is that actually makes Frankie giggle. He is a very colorful person, and Frankie's online persona, the outward facing part of him that everyone sees, is very weather focused. He's very unique in his delivery, his scattershot weather around the world, but he is a very colorful and complex person who's got he's got a really weird side. He is a very
It's
cool
taken me
person.
2 years to
Kings
get
and
him
Clubs
to
from
laugh.
Timmins. Kings and
Took me
Clubs
like 10 minutes, man.
Ontario.
Frankie
Pardon me,
giggled on
Frankie?
that first show we did together.
Yeah.
They live in Timmins.
Who lives in
Yes.
Timmins? Kins and
Kings and
Klomp?
Clubs podcast.
A lot of people.
Timmins is tough country. Are they tough guys?
Yeah, they are. Have you met those guys?
No.
Okay, so amongst the podcast deathmatch like lineup here, G&D, I do not want to go head to head with, but Kins and Klomp, you know what? I think they give us a serious run for their money. So
Well, maybe it's what we Canadian shows have to do is team up together, because Gary and Dino's show is like 50 people. It's like,
And
so it's not
Jason
only do you have to take
Russell.
on some of the
They're a
toughest
gang.
people, but there's
And another
a
American
huge gang of
podcast
them.
is Don and Mantis podcast, Gary and Dino show, Jason Russell, We Don't Have Cookies, Made on Trey, and Roger the Wild Child show, and Compound Media, Dozen Americans.
And Gary and Dino, they sit around Las Vegas, and all their guys, all they do is watch fighting and bet
Yeah.
on it.
yeah.
Those are some pretty tough guys, right? So it's not just that they have some of the toughest guys, but there's a lot of them. So I think that we need to almost, make some alliances with other Canadian podcasts that might help us defeat Gary and Dino.
So in this fantasy football lineup of podcast MMA deathmatch thing that we got going on, we need to start thinking of who's going to be recruited to join our team so that when we go into this fantasy deathmatch, we've got a standing chance. Because as it is, I got to be honest, we're not doing so good. So
We're not doing so good because not only is Gary and Dino's show tougher than us, but they're also funnier and more popular.
Trevor's Happy Hour does another podcast.
We can take them.
So maybe
is
we
Trevor
have
like
to
12?
start
Is that what
betting
you're
on
talking
what
about?
the weather's going to do.
No, Trevor's not 12. He's the drunk guy.
I don't know this one. Which drunk guy?
You're lucky. He's pretty funny, but he's very right wing.
What about the other guy
Drunk
called
guy.
Sam Duncan, Don and Mantis podcast? He's another guy in the States.
Are they coming?
Yeah,
Whoa, what was that?
truck, ripping it up.
See, I was hoping it was like a skidoo floating by, or like an ATV, a winterized ATV. Just
Are they
whipping by.
racing?
Snowmobile. That's the word I'm looking for. Snowmobile. The thing that
I'm
every
yelling
other
at
part of Canada
On the
has a lot
Autobahn,
of,
this is
but not
a big
here.
truck driving 1 billion miles per hour on the Autobahn in Germany.
Oh,
Big truck
yes, man.
driving 1 trillion miles per hour.
Oof.
I know it's legal to drive 1 billion miles per hour, but you can't actually do it because of the constraints of physics, Frankie.
Don't ruin it. Come on, Joey. Don't ruin it.
Okay.
Like I'm in the process of getting my car fixed because right now my car is only running on 2 cylinders, which is not good. But go-kart, it's a 4-cylinder turbo, right? And
Well, at least it's only a 4-cylinder car.
well. So the thing is, it's an Abarth, which is actually it's a tiny little Italian race car that I drive. So now I've had that thing from a dead stop at an intersection. I hit 80 by the time I cleared the other side of the intersection. It is like driving a rocket. So I'm just going to put it out there that the idea of driving 1 billion miles an hour, I'm in favor of. I drive a race car and I'm happy
Another,
to test
I
the
tell you
speed
though,
limits.
another podcast is Anthony Rogers show. That's another one. Uncle Rico show. They were from the States too.
Awesome.
Frankie, what would happen if someone on the Autobahn was driving 299,792,458 meters per second?
That's the speed of light.
That is the speed of light. Good one.
And can you travel through time at that speed?
See, everyone else was Googling that. Frankie's just standing there in the street and he's like, speed of light.
What happens if that happened on the Autobahn in Germany?
And you travel at the speed of light, man. You travel through time. You're going through time at that point. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
So you're going
That means
like to another time in Germany.
you could go, you could go from Germany to Germany in less than 10
Milliseconds, parsecs.
in less than negative 10 hours.
Exactly, right? You go from one side of Germany to the other immediately. That's basically teleportation. That's what that is. That's how it works. So it takes 4 minutes for the light from the sun to reach us, little peons on Earth. So given that it's 4 minutes for that, the distance from
It's
one
like
side
7.
of Germany to the other, the distance from one side of Germany to the other is a whole lot of nothing comparatively. So you'd basically be at that speed instantaneously moved from one side to the other.
And no one could give
Teleportation
you a
is
speeding
real,
ticket because no one could catch you.
right? Unless you got some cops with nitrous in their little in their cruisers, but that's a whole other bag of cheese. So
On the
You notice-
Autobahn, how fast people drive on the Autobahn in Germany, not like the Coquillala Highway.
oh, very
Because
different.
you notice if you look at your speedometer in the car, it
Yep.
doesn't go up to 300,000 kilometers per second. And that's because you can't actually go the speed of light.
Don't ruin
You
it,
can
Joey. Come
You
on.
get close to it. So I think if you were going 300,000 kilometers per second on the Autobahn, you would be still breaking the laws of physics.
Well, okay, laws of physics are meant to be broken.
Along with arms and legs and hearts, I know.
Well, yeah. But if you're going that fast, then it happens so fast you don't feel it. Just all of a sudden your limbs are lying on the ground behind y'all. Nice and easy. It's a clean break.
We've already gone through a whole show. It's been so fun. And who killed Pete? We still don't know who the murder mystery has not been solved. You're listening to the Meteorological Report, your show, Comedy Plus Meteorology, your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada on C4 88.7 FM in Prince George, and CKUW 95.9 FM Winnipeg, and CFBX Kamloops. Soon on Shaw Cable Television. There's Imogen
Both my
on the cover
covers,
of 2
man.
magazines.
Yeah, both
Do
my
it.
covers. New York, Paris. That's what I did.
Yeah, I'm going to be on the cover of the Quesnel Observer. So that's, big news. Imogen's on the cover of Paris Fashion Magazine. All
I
your
celebrated.
achievements are nothing compared to that.
And I celebrated that by eating a whole pizza to myself. I wear my KFC tracksuit.
That's totally what I would do. So this show is co-sponsored, I guess you could say, by Saddle Mountain Garlic Farms and Venerate Supplements. Frankie McDonald, how does everyone find you on the world of the internet?
My Twitter's at Frankie MacD. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. My Instagram is Frankie MacD 984. My TikTok is FrankDown984. My Clapper is FrankDown984. My Twitch is FrankDown984. My YouTube channel is Dogs and Wolves. And my Snapchat is Frankie MECDON. And my LinkedIn is Frankie McDonald. Best out there. I'm Frank Down. You're listening to Community Roster Weather Report. We're joining on every Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Atlantic time.
Now that the show is over, Frankie McDonald, who's the killer? Which one of us is it?
None of us.
One of us
That's a
Wow.
plot twist.
did not see that coming. How?
That is it.
We have a body
'Cause
on
it's
the
Frankie.
floor and no one did.
Pete's missing, Frankie. Who killed him?
Yeah.
Mystery man.
Mystery man. Was it the one-armed man? Could it be a one-armed man? Please tell us that's who it was. One-armed or two? One.
So
There's the
I've only got
couch.
one arm. So, okay.
Okay, fine.
That's our show for this week, I guess. I'm Joey Only. You can find this show on when we record it We do it live every week on Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude, my YouTube channel. Please subscribe. I just got to 1,500 subscribers this week, so I'm really happy about that. It's really great. I'm trying to grow the channel into something totally awesome that people want to watch. And to do that, I need to be a different person. So help me fund that. Okay.
A different
That's the joke.
person.
I just gotta say the wrong things. It's funny.
You say whatever you want.
And soon will be for TV. The plastic surgery's booked. I'll get my teeth fixed, and I'll even get a haircut, I'm sure. And Imogen.in, you can find her online. And thanks to Imogen for all the work she's been doing for the show. So we'll give a shout out to her and her company, Venerate Supplements. And I'm gonna be, once I have a little bit more, I need some supplements actually, because
Yes, you
this is
do.
gonna happen. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, if you go to the website, anything that you order, use the code BBKF, and that will get you 40% off of whatever you're getting.
VenerateSups.ca. There you go.
Yep.
Use that code, and I'll probably ask you for that again soon. Now that someone bought my computer for me, I can probably imagine, hey, I want that. I love that milkshake powder. Anyways, tiger season's coming, and I'm pumped. I think that's the show for this week. Joey Only, Brandon Howe, Frankie McDonald, Imogen, Frankie Corcoran, Hilding Donaldson, and who knows who we'll have next week. I know in the coming weeks we're going to have some storm chasers on from because the ChaserCon's coming, and Brandon Howe's going to have some announcements about ChaserCon, and he's going to have some chasers come on. We're going to have the ChaserCon meteorological report. This has been the meteorological report tonight, and the answer actually was me. I killed him. Okay. Bye, everybody. See you next time.
Bye.
See ya. Have a good one, guys.
Man, this was murder heavy tonight. Yowza. I approve. Frankie's gone. Wow.
He's even timed the recording stop. He's like just instant.
Oh yeah. Frankie is delightfully predictable that way. As soon as the recording stop voice comes up that says recording over, he is out. Wow, Frankie hates us.
No, he's just well, that's why before the show too, I was like, you don't have to be here in half an hour, really, Frankie, for planning and all that, because
I didn't want to.
He's just standing out in the cold, standing there while we're making small talk, having business conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. Doing Frankie
I didn't want to confuse him there when he said it was a mystery man that committed the murder. And I was like, my stage name is Mystery.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Kill Mystery Cowboy did it. It was the farmer.
The mysterious farmer. Awesome.
Well, definitely we do raise animals for slaughter on a farm. You have to admit that.
Awesome.
I get it. I've been bloody more than once. I'm a son of a butcher.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Yeah, in fact, because my stepdad had the butcher shop in the garage for wild game. So every deer season, hunting season, he'd do deer were like $50 a pop, bear 100, moose $200. And he had the butcher shop, and him and mom, and sometimes Victoria, or maybe me or whoever would be doing the wrapping, and Tom just, and all the hunters would be lined up out the driveway trying to offer a beer, which was very difficult for old Tomer because he was the kind of guy who kept I'll tell you what kind of guy my stepdad was. When we ran out of beer the one time, and I'm like 16, I'm like, Tom, it's Saturday afternoon, like we ran out of beer, and he's like, did we? And he like goes off into the forest and comes back with a case of beer, like 240, and he's like, never commit to battle what you can't keep in reserve, son. He's like red green kind of guy, right? Like,
that's
so he's
awesome.
like he's having to like watch all the hunters come and drink and have all this fun while he's just cutting deer after deer after deer after deer. And there was Ray Spoon, who's known as one of Canada's transgender musicians. Ray started as country, but then he decided to go more pop. Ray's a genius. And we did a tour together like 15, 16, 20 years ago or something. And there we are, and with all the deer heads and hoofs. And I just think that image is so funny, bringing Ray Spoon to my house when there's just deer parts everywhere. Yeah, this is my family.
Awesome.
Well, my father
Deer
couldn't
pits.
stand to kill anything. So he was a vegetarian. My father was vegetarian, and I was raised vegetarian. Then I married a girl who came from the hillbilly country of Virginia, and her dad was a butcher. And he said, and I went and helped him butcher hundreds and hundreds of deer every year. And it's kind of funny because all the while I was going to school, everybody would say, "Oh, we can't give you any meat. You're vegetarian." I'm like, I don't care. It's my dad is a vegetarian. He doesn't care what I eat.
That's awesome.
Man, we shouldn't have talked about food because now I'm super hungry. I was like in such a hurry to get the kids and then get here and so we stopped just to do the A&W things. It's like the last thing before you head down the Barkerville Highway. There's an
Not
A&W
KFC.
there.
Oh,
No, there's no,
KFC, man.
especially for drive-through.
Fair enough.
There's nothing like that in Quesnel. There is McDonald's. The kids aren't a fan of
Touche.
McDonald's. They like A&W. I like A&W better.
But the A&W is right at your turnoff there.
Exactly. It's like
Yeah.
the last thing of civilization you see, but it's like, well, it's pretty tempting every time. It's like, well, before I drive for an hour into the dark and snow, Teen Burger does sound pretty friggin' awesome.
Oh yeah. Can't go wrong with a teen burger.
Oh, it is the best burger in Canada, isn't it?
Is it? What's on a
One of
teen
them.
burger? I don't know my fast food that well.
It's just like bacon, tomato, lettuce, a good bun, a good quality meat. You know, it's something special, but in terms of like the mass-produced burgers that you're going to get across the country, you know, you could make an
A&W has
argument
the
that
best meat.
you could make an argument that Harvey's is pretty good because of the way they let you build your burger, but we don't have Harvey's in BC and
We don't. We
only
did
in
at one time, didn't we?
only in like the airport and home improvement, whatever that big store
Home
is.
Hardware or
Depot.
Home Depot. Home Depot. I think that's Home
Yeah,
Depot.
they had
now.
Harvey's.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I know the place you mean. I remember seeing a Harvey's at we used to have them all over the place. There was a few here at one time. Now there's not.
And let's be honest, like the Big Mac isn't a great. It sucks.
Yeah.
No, I mean, they got a squishy, shriveled little burger in them, and the buns aren't anything special.
Well, even the
Yeah.
flavor combination, when you compare that to a team burger, which is just a tomato, it's always a good
Yeah.
tomato, lettuce, slice of bacon, mayonnaise, mustard, relish, ketchup,
Mm.
and it's a
Melts in your
perfect
mouth.
burger.
Yeah.
And it does. It melts in your mouth.
Meat shouldn't melt. Are you sure that's animal products? I'm just saying it's not
Then-
supposed to do that. That's not a
And
good
then I'm a
sign.
Wendy's guy too with that baconator or grilled chicken.
Oh my God,
I-
that's
I
the
like-
worst.
Okay, see, I'm a fan of Wendy's. That's one of my vices, and I have
You
many.
actually go to
But
Wendy's, you two?
Oh yeah, I don't eat the
Yeah.
bacon though. I eat their chicken. They've got lots of chicken stuff, and I like their chicken. So I'll or a JBCB. I'll get a JBCB, but I'll add a chicken patty to it, and then I've got or a double JBCB with a chicken patty, and it's just it's something else. And since I learned
Wendy's
how to
scored
mod
at
their
the
menu,
absolute
Oh.
bottom in the United States for customer satisfaction in
Oh,
fast food.
That's in the
chains.
US. Canada's different.
They got 1 out of 5. You go to their Facebook page,
Yeah.
they got 1 out of 5 stars on their own fucking page. You
That's
like,
because they roast
statistically-
everybody.
Statistically, that's almost impossible. It's almost impossible to get
That's
1 out of
fascinating.
5-star review.
it's
That's how bad they
impressive,
are.
man.
So that's probably because they roast everybody on their Twitter
Did you hear
page.
about the-
That's funny.
Was that Wendy's that was doing that?
No,
Oh,
there was
yeah.
the Burger King one where they where what you did is if you deleted, there's an app that you have for Burger King, and if you deleted 10 friends off your Facebook, you get free burgers. And then the people that you deleted would get a message from Burger King. This was their promotion, and it backfired pretty bad. The people you deleted would get a message saying that you were deleted, that your friendship means less than 1/10 the price of a burger. That was the message that,
Awesome.
and like 500,000 people got this.
Oh, that makes me happy. That is
500,000
good
people got
promotion.
this message because people,
Yes. Hi, you've been deleted. You mean less than a tenth of a burger? Yes. I would be.
It
You know what?
backfired on them really
I never
bad.
got that message, and I'm suddenly sad. I am sad that I mean more than a tenth of a burger to that many people. This is awful.
You're
there's
half a
something-
burger at least.
There is something fantastic about being deleted in favor of a lousy burger, of a drive-through burger. Although to be fair, if I knew about that, I probably would have created 10 accounts, fake accounts, just to delete them for the burger, just for the novelty of saying that I went through that process to get a free burger. The burger means nothing. The process art is its own thing.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's brilliant promotion. It truly is.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah. So Burger King scores very low on customer
Burger King, you
reviews,
just said Wendy's.
but Wendy's is the worst. Well, yeah, because
okay.
I didn't finish my sentence. That's why.
Fine.
I love when you're about to make a point and people are like, "See," halfway through your point.
Yeah. Burger King here is pretty abysmal. Like I hadn't eaten at Burger King in a long time, and last summer I went through their drive-through. I thought I have fond memories of last time, sort of. The migraines and the nausea were notwithstanding. But I went through and I got the sandwich that I had gotten before, and it was just some really bland chicken sandwich, and it was just literally this weird, strangely wet chicken patty on a bun that I cannot honestly say it was a bread product. It did not have a consistency I recognize as bread.
The word would maybe
like bread.
soggy. Yeah, the soggy quality to it.
It wasn't. I'm not sure how to describe it. It wasn't. The bun itself was not soggy. The patty was wet. The patty itself was wet, but the bun, I don't. You know what? I ate the whole thing more out of curiosity. Oh yeah. I was disgusted and like just rife with self-loathing, but I ate it because the whole time, like with every bite, I was trying to figure out the texture. I was trying to figure out what organic compound it could remind me of, or what inorganic compound. And I'm taking a bite, and I'm like, I'm thinking of the various types of sink sponges.
Oh, I know what it is. It's the grossest thing imaginable.
It was weird. It wasn't
Sponge.
wet. It was suspiciously oily. It was porous. It tore more easily than bread. But what do you make of that? What on this planet fits that description?
Waylon, what's your favorite
sandwich.
fast food?
I don't know.
Wendy's.
Yeah, Wendy's.
A&W, McDonald's.
I don't like McDonald's.
Good boy.
I'll tell you my favorite, Arby's, but they
I
used to
like
have one in
Arby's.
Prince George and they don't have it anymore.
No, the one in Kamloops, when I was stationed for summer, and they made us stay in this awful hotel, and our fire crew wasn't getting many calls because it was just raining all summer. And Arby's was a block away. And I was like, I guess I'll go try Arby's. And then I went in there and I ate something, and I was like, that was so bad for me and so awesome. Like,
It was the
Like,
Mardi
really?
Gras
Arby's
They had
has got
sliced
of
beef
intestinal
rather than burgers.
distress.
Like walking in Five Guys burgers and fries.
like I don't remember what I got. I was like, it wasn't poutine or something. It was something really bad for me though. And I was like, it was awesome. It was so
They had
good.
all kinds of baked potatoes with salads in them
Right.
What?
at Arby's.
I think Arby's is like probably the worst for you of the fast
Really?
food restaurants, but it's like because it's greasy, man. But wow, some of those sandwiches are just like, yeah,
Yeah. And they
You
had
walk
the
out
best
of there
curly
full.
fries.
best curly fries. You walk out of it, they're
That's still a
full.
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're not like, man, that was, and that's part of the problem with some of that greasy food is it is filling and you've eaten a lot of oil. But
But
man, Arby's.
their sandwiches weren't so greasy with the sliced meat, and they had really nice fine sliced meat. I like that. And you could get all different kinds. You get pastrami or beef or chicken or turkey.
Let's see, what does Arby's have on their menu right now?
Oh, are you looking it up?
Loaded fries. That was one of the things I loved.
Yeah.
loaded fries. So it's like
What does that mean?
curly fries with
So
cheese.
it's pretty much a bag full of fries.
And
A
like
bag full of fries floating in things. Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
but it's
Yeah.
got cheese and chipotle sauce and all kinds of that stuff on it.
meat and tomatoes. And I mean that is, and they got a whole bunch of different kinds. There's the Greek curly fries, there's a Montreal smoked meat poutine. I remember this is what was getting me putting the
Yeah.
weight on. Loaded curly fries, Greek loaded curly fries. Look at these ones, son. Look-
Yummy.
Holy, look at that. It's got tzatziki on it.
I got a soft spot for tzatziki sauce. Like a well-made that sauce is really good. I've got a big jug of it in my fridge right now because I just bought like a 2K jug of Greek yogurt and just made tzatziki.
Oh man,
What am I looking
it's
at?
my favorite. I always buy the
Oh,
Greek
I
every
thought it
time
was
I
a
see the Greek
taco.
yogurts on sale.
Thing.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, stock up.
Yeah, because they do the 30% off of everything that's getting close to
Yeah.
extra foods here in Quesnel, and I just like, oh look, sure, there's no reason why I shouldn't have like 4 liters of yogurt. Greek that freaking. But look at that. That's an Arby's French fry dish,
Yeah.
and what you get doesn't look quite like that, but it's, you know,
Greek loaded.
it's like that. It's chunks of like, what do you call
Chunks
that
of
kind of meat?
things.
Souvlaki style meat.
You're a souvlaki.
You're a souvlaki.
Very original.
Limited time offers. Big sandwiches. So yeah, that's one of the Montreal Reuben. That's the other one I totally liked.
Yeah.
And the traditional Greek gyro. I was eating this sandwich and those loaded fries like at least once a week at that Arby's up the street. And I just like, I get so bored of sitting around waiting for a fire call. I'd be like, that's it. I'm going to Arby's. I can't cook in this hotel room, anything anymore.
Yeah.
And I didn't know like how good and how bad for you Arby's was. I mean, like, wow, like those, you shouldn't eat that.
Rule of thumb with fast food is that, you know, when it's really majorly popular, it's considered delicious. It's the better it tastes, the worse it is. Seems to be the thing with fast food. I don't get it. It's weird.
Well, somebody asked on Facebook last week how which was worst for you, bucket of chicken from Kentucky Fried or the coleslaw that comes with it.
Oh,
You know what I told him?
coleslaw?
I said the coleslaw is worse because it has only unusable vegetable oil in it. I mean, your body can't use vegetable oil when it's been cooked, and that's what they use, right?
Yeah.
But the chicken, half of the grease in the chicken comes from the chicken itself, and that's digestible.
Ah,
So at least half of the chicken grease is digestible.
that's a valid
Kind
point.
of stupid, isn't it?
What about Carl's Jr.? You tried Carl's Jr. ever?
What's that?
You guys
I
know
don't think
Carl's Jr.?
I think I've
No.
been there once.
No.
But
I might have driven past.
I've been to
one
Five
when I was
Guys
out in
Burgers and
Japan.
Fries though.
You
Boy.
seem like you're down with Five Guys.
Yeah.
Never heard of that one.
Oh yeah, you can walk in there and you get a burger that is like the size of my head.
Oh, yeah.
And then-
Oh dear Lord, that is repulsive.
That's not Carl's Jr., I don't think.
Ugh.
but yeah, five. That's
Well,
five.
This one is.
And
Look at
then
that.
and then you go in and there's like buckets of peanuts. So you just
Oh, good.
chow down on peanuts.
Why?
I used to love that about Montana's. They just throw your peanuts on the ground kind of thing.
Oh yeah, that's the
Oh.
same thing with Five Guys there. Yeah, and then you get
Really?
and then they give you extra
I
fries.
do not
Like,
eat
you
out
walk in
anywhere
there-
enough.
And you don't and pretty much yeah you order this one little basket of fries and they just dump fries in your bag like another half a bag of fries
Dear Lord.
to go. That's Five Guys burgers and fries.
Ooh.
Let's look at the Carl's Jr.
You
menu.
get what you pay for when you get into that building.
Oh yeah, so this one I really like. It's got the big onion rings, the Western cheeseburger.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. This one too, the double Western bacon cheeseburger. Look at that one. It's got crispy onion rings. Doesn't that one look good, Waylon?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Beyond Meat. So there's one you don't need. And
Hold on.
oh yeah, some of Carl's Jr.'s. Oh, and this is the one, the El Diablo, because it's got 4 jalapeno poppers right in the burger.
Mm.
See, Carl's Jr. So good, so bad for you. Don't eat it; it will kill you.
Well, I'll have to invite you guys to come over here sometime to Grassy Plains. Just 5 miles from where I live here, there's the Takaisi Lake Resort, and they're known for the Takaisi burger. And people travel actually from quite a distance to come over and have a Takaisi burger. It's kind of interesting.
Right. Now, lately in Wells, I've been enjoying the
Look at the
breakfast.
size of these burgers. Good.
All right,
You
my
got a
camera's
Wells
Big burger.
breakfast joint, do you?
Oh yeah. All right, my camera's going haywire. I think it's getting near its the end of its daily ability. So I'm gonna
I'm-
sign out, and
I'm super hungry. I'm gonna go eat something.
you're gonna graze around through your fast food menus and see what's up.
Yeah.
Wow, we have
Open
no
up that
fast
little
food.
drawer.
We do have a 60s sort of looking, a 50s sort of looking diner that I go and have breakfast at sometimes. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All
at the
right.
Lake Cabin.
Is it the one place that we went to once for breakfast?
Last weekend, yes.
That was
Awesome.
really good.
Yeah, it was. That was all you could eat that weekend, a buffet. Because it was the
Mhm.
gourmet ski tour last weekend in Wells. And the gourmet ski tour is when people from all over come and they ski to all these stations, and each ski station has a different gourmet menu item that's served there. So
That is super
all
cool.
throughout the countryside around Wells, people come for the gourmet ski and they ski around and dine and eat. And so because of the gourmet ski was going on, they sent everybody off with a all you could eat breakfast that morning, which is bonus. And I was like, Curtis, you got to do this every week. He's like, wow, it's a lot of prep. And I was like, if you do it every week, we'll be here every week.
Well,
Ching ching.
that's one way of looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Gonna put wood in the fire, time to eat some food, eh, son?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. See y'all next time. I'm gonna go hit the treadmill
Yep.
because why not? I had a whole
See you
pizza for
next week.
breakfast.
If I don't get lost in a blizzard first.
Well, to be fair, Blizzard here is like 8 snowflakes all within an hour. We don't really get blizzards here. The fact that any of it stuck last night was pretty wild. It was a talking point, but it was gone in the morning. By 7:30 this morning, it was all gone. I didn't wake up till 10. I just heard about it.
Hey, Brandon, did you like the hat?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Never
Vulcan
occurred to me
Curling
that
Club.
Vulcans would be down with curling, but you know,
Vulcan
logic is
Curling Club.
logic. All right. See you next time.
Okay, everyone, that's us. I'm gonna hit the